In this video, we're going to go over how to make your own code practice oscillator that works with ICW and Internet Morse pretty well. And I'm using this circuit, just a simple 555. I like this circuit myself because it keeps the duty cycle the same. There's the square wave, and it's pretty close to 50% duty cycle. And there's a variable resistor here. The one I'm using is about 50K. And let's go up and down and watch the duty cycle. And it's out of the filter range. So let's bring up the mixer. And we'll turn this up and we'll turn that down a little bit. So let's bring this down slightly. Alright, and bear with me here. So let's go low. That's what it... And that particular tone's not the best to be sending on Mumble. As you see, as I vary the pitch, the duty cycle remains very constant. Okay, let's get that back here. And let's take a look at the circuit here. It's pretty simple. I just have a 914 diode. I have about 3 volts I'm using on a TLC 555. I have about 800 ohms here. I got a variable 2K resistor, and I think I measured it to be about 800 ohms or something to adjust that duty cycle to where you like it, about 50%. I'm just using a 3904 instead of this one. And for the variable, I'm just using 50K, 0.01 here on the cap. Same thing over here from 5 to 1. I'm going out, but instead of keying this 5.5, I'm letting it run. It's drawing about 20 milliamps with everything running. And while that keeps it from chirping on you, I had a little trouble with mine chirping, so I decided to let it run on its own there all the time while I have it turned on. And then we use it to key this. So I have my CW key or ground, just the normal rig output that you would key a rig with. So I have ground, and then this connection here that goes to the LED that lights up this FET opto oscillator. And you want it to be not too much more than this, and not too much less than this either. For me, it's about 100 to 200 ohms just to keep it safe so you don't burn out that LED. And you don't need a great deal of power. You don't have to go to 0 ohms over here, since this is going to the mic input. So from the 555 pin 3, which is its output, that square wave that you saw, it goes to here first, and then to the mic input. Again, there I have a stereo mic, so I have a left and right, where I have 2 capacitors going to this connection right here, this mic input connection. And then that goes to the input of the mic jack itself, and I just have the ground also connected to the battery supply to the 555, so that it all comes in and it works just fine. But I found this makes a great keying circuit. I like keying this, and it's very accurate as far as getting the right timing goes, and duplicating what your keyer's putting out. And these are pretty cheap. They're only about $1 here at the local store, the surplus store. So that's how I'm keying it. So I have my paddles connected to it from the Ultra Pico Keyer Plus. I've got a K1L, K1EL, K40 keyer. And then I have a straight key. And I wanted to go over review how we're doing this filtering. There's 2 different setups here. So we've seen this, so I'll put this away for a second. So here's the mic jack, and it comes in here. And this is the capture here, mic jack. I have it all the way down on mine. So the lower the better, the less noise you're going to have going into the mic jack all the time. So it goes to this bandpass filter. It also goes to Reaper to be regenerated. And then I have it going straight in to the before the filter. So in the jack mixer, let's take this one down and this one up again. So just typical square wave. And then the filter. Take it up just a bit. That sounds pretty good. And over here on the Regen'd, let me turn that down just a little bit. So that sounds good too. And it's the same setup as in the previous video in this series as far as the connections. If we wanted to take a look at the spam, we would connect that directly here and see how it does. And look at that mic jack, so there's some noise on there already, but all it does is go up. If you have a major peak at 700 and up in the upper here. So let's take it off of there and put it in the bandpass filter. So you can already see that the noise of the mic jack, it peaks it right about there. And let's see what it does. So that really cleans it up. And whoops. And right here, let's take a look at the Regen'd out of Reaper. And as you can see, typical classic form. This one's a little cleaner than the filter is doing. And let me demonstrate how you can dial in the filters here. So let's bring them both up. There's the first one at 750 center, and the second one at 650. So I'm going to let a file play for a second. And I'm going to vary the Q. Oops, I have it on Regen'd, hold on. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to play a file, then I'm going to adjust the Q. And you can kind of hear the edge noise get louder and then get softer. Too soft. Same thing over here. Okay, we'll leave it right there. And that's the basic idea. You how hard or how soft you want your keying from that 555. You go ahead and determine that just by adjusting the Q. And this filter is a very common Linux filter, and it's already incorporated into Carla. It's been set up. And I'll have a note in the show notes about that. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to show, is that you don't have to use your own keyer. You can do a setup like this. Any 5.5 will do, or any tone at all will do just about. You can clean it up pretty good just with that software. Thanks for watching.